Okay, now we're fixing to do stuffed squash. So this is the type of squash you want to buy, or about the size. You don't want to get it too big, and if you can get it rounded, it's best. So this is kind of what you're looking at to buy for your stuffed squash. You want to peel this with the peeler first, and then you're going to cut the necks off to where they're about this size, approximately. Then you have to core it out, the squash. Before, this is how you're going to do that. You got to core. By the way, that's what that needs to look like. And you stick it in right about the middle of the squash. And you got to be careful. You don't want to go in too far where you puncture the squash. So you kind of have to be a little gentle with this. You don't want to break the squash. So you just kind of slowly, and you can feel that you're getting that stuff, the inside of it, the meat out of it. There you go. So you're finished coring this out. It's going to look like this, which, you know, you want it to be about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and all the inside out as good as you can. But again, be careful. You don't want to break the outside or in here. Okay. So then you're going to take, this is meat filling left from the grape leaves we did earlier. You can start, you know, so if you have some left, you can stuff squash with it or just make a new batch. When you're stuffing the squash, you don't want it tightly, you want it fairly loose in here. You don't want to keep cramming it in because it's going to expand, and you want it to, so you just loosely put that in. Again, here's some I've stuffed already. We're going to keep lining them up in this pan. You want them sort of standing up. If they fall over, it doesn't matter. But this is the way you put them in the pan. Now we're ready to start the cooking process. We've got all the squash lined up in here, ready to go. So these are the ingredients that you're going to pour over. It's the tomato. I usually use this this size of tomato juice, a 16-ounce tomato sauce. So I've got 2 8-ounces here. We're going to add some bouillon, chicken bouillon granules, and we're going to have just salt and some lemon juice. Okay, so we're going to just pour this over. Oh, I try not to. You could also have this all mixed in together in a big pitcher kind of like thing.
I'm a sous chef.
Okay, the sous chef. Then we're going to add the tomato sauce over it. We're going to add a couple of squirts of lemon juice, or if you just squeeze one, we just have ours already squeezed. So we're going to do a little
Because
of
we're
that.
fancy.
Because we're fancy, and then we're going to add a couple of teaspoons of the bouillon, chicken bouillon for the flavoring. This one, it heats up, will all dissolve in there. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. I'll just do a little over here. And then we're going to bring this to a boil uncovered. Once it comes to a boil, I'm going to cover it and turn the fire down to a low simmer and let it simmer for about an hour. And that you can test it and make sure it's done. Alrighty?